Sir, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Senapati sir.
Please unmute, sir. Okay. Is there anyone hearing your screen? Please.
आपल्याकडनं काय झालं? आपल्याकडे प्लीज शेअर करायचं. करा यांच्यावर शेअर करा.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Rayat Shikshan Sanstha, JOSHI College, HADAPSAR, Department of Economics and Global Research and Training Forum, Pune, jointly organizes under MOU panel discussion on Union Budget 2022-23. On the occasion, great eminent speaker here. So I would like to welcome, behalf of Rayat Shikshan Sanstha, JOSHI College, Department of Economics, heartily welcome all the chief guest speakers on this occasion on discussion on budget. Firstly, I would like to welcome chief guest of Dr. Ratikant Ray, Director, Global Research and Training Forum. Sir, welcome from the station.
Thank you so much, sir.
Expertise of this session, Honorable Professor Dr. Vijay Katre sir, Shivaji University, Kolhapur.
Hello.
And founder of Senapati and Associate, CA Rajendra Senapati sir. Next, Chartered Finance Analyst, Cost Accountant, Company Secretary, Honorable CFA, CMA and CS, M. Hanif Sheikh sir. And today's chairperson, Dr. C.J. Khirare, Principal of our JOSHI College. Once again, welcome you to all this discussion on Union Budget 2022-23. I would like to request our department head, Dr. Munde sir, to introduce our speaker and chief guest.
Good afternoon all. Today, it's great pleasure for our institute and the Department of Economics. Today, we are going to organize panel discussion on Union Budget 2022-23 with the jointly organized with Global Research and Training Forum, Pune. We all know Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented the Union Budget 2022-23 in Parliament on 1st February. Here, a host of measures for the member of sectors aimed at boost growth and high and rising inflation. Here, however, we few changes to the personal income tax structure and union budget 2022, India saw no major populist uh, giveaways given the importance on union budget and its impact on Indian economy and industry. Union budget 2022 is an important for the group discussion uh, panel discussion topic. Today's chief guest of our program, Dr. Ratikanta Ray sir, who is the director of Global Research and Training Forum, Pune. Ratikanta Ray sir is Dean of the Commonwealth Vocational University and HOD, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Management and Entrepreneur Development. Ray sir has awarded D.Lit from California Public University, USA. Also, he has PhD in Management, Banking and Finance, MPhil awarded with O grade from SP University, Savitribai Phule University, Pune. He has completed here MCom and BCom from the University of Pune. Also, he has completed MBA, MBS, PGDBM in Finance. Also, he has completed LLB with second division, completed LLM and cleared NET exam also. Ray sir has done many academic and co-curricular work. He has worked as a resource person, also as a chairperson in national and international conferences. He has huge academic experience. Ray sir is a member of Syllabus Review Committee, MBA, visiting and guest lecturer in Capital Market and GST, convener of National Conference sponsored by University of Pune. Then he is the member of Decision Science Institute, Houston, USA, director, Lions Club of PCMC, member of All India Association of Education and Research, and also international committee member of International Symposium on Business and Management, Japan. Ray sir has published more than 30 research papers in national and international reputed journals. Today's chairperson of this program, our principal, Dr. Hilare sir, who has the huge experience as a professor and as a principal. Sir has been working as a principal from last 17 to 18 years and represented academic bodies such as Dean, Faculty of Science, Member of Academic Council, Member of Senate, Member of Faculty of Science and Board of Studies in Botany, Shivaji University. BOS in Botany, also in Pune University. Also, sir has the chairperson of Viva for PhD Academic Audit Committee, member of RGSTs of Government of Maharashtra for Committee of Peers, Project Appraisal Committee, Sexual Harassment Prevention Committee, Perspective Plan Committee, then Library Committee, and so many academic committees he has working. Also, sir has worked as the chairman of mock peer team at the dawn of NAC assessment of more than 15 colleges, and sir now representing as a member of Academic Council of Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Sir's research contribution includes more than 40 publications in reputed national and international journals. Sir has completed one major research project who has that research project has sponsored by MOEF Government of India, and 4 minor research projects has completed which is sponsored by UGC. 4 candidates are awarded with PhD under the guidance of sir. 4 are pursuing the PhD under the guidance of sir, and sir has awarded the fellow of International Scientist Unique Researcher Association and awarded FSESC Life Member of Aerobiological Society of India, Member of Advances in Plant Science, Eco-Planning and Environmental Science, Flora and Fauna Science Congress Association, Member of Editorial Board of Journal of Science and Technology, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and Flora and Fauna, UP. Sir has conducted national and international conferences, and right now, sir is the member of Managing Council of Rayat Shikshan Sanstha Satara, and also the member of life worker of our parent institute, and vice president of University Botany Association of Shivaji University. Today's our speakers, first speaker of our today's session, who is Dr. V.B. Kakade sir, the professor and coordinator of Mahavir Professional Chair, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Under the guidance of Kakade sir, 13 students has awarded PhD degree and pursuing 3 students under the guidance of sir. Awarded 17 MPhil degree under the guidance of Kakade sir. Sir has published their 40 research papers in reputed national and international journals. Sir has worked as a chairman and as well resource person in many national and international conferences and such this panel discussions. Sir has completed one UGC sponsored major research project which is on measuring human development index disparity by using inclusive lens of rupees 3,15,000. Sir has done many consultancy work also, work as a chief in drafting district agricultural plan of Kolhapur district, chief coordinator third party social audit and social impact analysis, prepared Ratnagiri district human development index, delivered more than 600 lectures on financial literacy as a SEBI resource person. Also sir has visited many foreign countries as a resource person. Also sir has the member of BOS Solapur University, member of BOS SRTM Nanded University Nanded, member research of Research and Review Committee Solapur, executive member Indian Society for Labor Economics, and sir has contributed work as a secretary of Teachers Association, work as a treasurer of Teachers Association, work as a rector Dr. Appasaheb Pawar Vidyarthi Bhavan, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and many more. Sir is a life member of Marathi Arthashastra Parishad, life member of Shivaji University Economics Association, Kolhapur, life member of Indian Economic Association, and executive member of ISLE. And sir has honored by award, many more awards. Ravindra Sabnis Best Research Paper Award of Marathi Arthashastra Parishad, Mumbai in 2019. Professor Piparkar Best Research Paper Prize from Marathi Arthashastra Parishad, Best Text Book Prize, Best Reference Book Prize, Rotary Award for Social Contribution, and also President Shivaji University Postgraduate Teacher Association, Kolhapur. Then our next resource person and speaker, CA Rajendra Senapati, who is the founder of R Senapati and Associates and Chartered Accountants. CA Rajendra Senapati provides insightful business and financial advice to micro, small, and medium enterprises. He gives insight the future directions to the organization support to reduce the debts, to improve the working capital, optimize and optional efficiencies, and improve the profitability. CA Rajendra Senapati was enrolled as a member of the ICAI in 1997. He has an experience of more than 21 years in corporate in the field of accounting and finance professional. He has worked in Vodafone India Service Private Limited as Vice President of Finance and Account, Airtel Limited Manager of Accounts, in ABB Limited Business Controller, and in the Crompton Views Limited Accountant Executive. And the next speaker and our guest, Mr. Mohammad Hanif Sheikh, sir, who right now he is working as a lawyer at Bombay High Court, and in last 2013 to 19 freelancers. Also in Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning, Pune, he has worked as a head Department of Management, IT and Law. He has worked as a visiting professor of finance for MBA, CFA, CS, and he has 20 years as an equity investor, consultant and researcher. And sir has the cost and work accounts from ICWAI, LLB from Pune University, has completed MPhil, MCom, BCom, and earlier selections of sirs has that Assistant Commandant Central Reserve Policy Forum Group A by UPSC, Inspector Central Excise and Customs by Staff Selection Commission, first in Pune, 11th in Western India, and the Class 1 officer by MPSC. So I am welcoming all of you, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The budget goal for 2020-23 aim to further India's aspiration in Amrit Kal as it moves towards its 100 years your post-independence. So in this budget, some major announcement on of government like agriculture, sector of agriculture, education, public capital investment, Saksham Anganwadi, or energy transition and climate action. So lots of efforts or lots of announcement in this budget. So no more about advancement in manufacturing. We would like to call Dr. Vijay Kakade sir, Ratikant Ray sir, to share their views on budget. Honorable Ratikant Ray sir.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Eknath Munde, sir, for your beautiful introduction, which I think I don't deserve that much. Yes, first of all, I would like to congratulate the Rayat Shikshan Sanstha SM JOSHI College, HADAPSAR, under the able and dynamic leadership of Honorable Principal and today's chairperson of budget session, Union Budgets Analysis Session 2022, Dr. CG Khilare sir, and moderator and convener Dr. Eknath Munde sir, co-convener Dr. Vishwas Deshmukh sir, Mr. Fulchand Kamble sir, Mr. Imtiaz Syed sir, and Naina Sindha ma'am, and other resource person, Honorable Dr. Vijay Kakade sir, the professor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur, Honorable CA Rajendra Senapati sir, CFA CMSCS Mr. Hanif Sheikh sir. My dear friends, and special thanks to the students of SM JOSHI College who are eager to learn the budget glossary as well as how budget works and what are the provisions of budget. So in that perspective, first of all, I would congratulate SM Joshi School for arranging the most macroeconomic aspect of any government, that is budget. And in this regard, special the budgetary provision kept for the budget, union budget 2022-23. Yes, let me highlight the budget of this year, financial year 2020-22. If you talk about key features, first of all, the goals of Amrit Kal. I agree with our moderator, fine, because we are marching towards 100 years. But how far our 100 years progress and development meet the expectation of the people and able to fulfill the attainment of sustainable development goal as rightly recommended by United Nations and formulated in the year 2017. But if you talk about the budget, yes, the Amrit Kal is there. If you say good days are ahead, definitely. But how far our union government has made a physical prudence in that and to fulfill the wishes of all the stakeholders associated with our society, the business segment, the common man, the salaried employee, and the NRIs and other people. If you talk about key features, goals of Amrit Kal, focus on growth and all inclusive welfare, promoting technology-enabled development, energy transition, climate action. Virtuous cycle starting from private investment, crowded in public capital investment. If you talk about the 4 priorities of budget, that is PM Gati Shakti, inclusive development, productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunity, energy transition and climate action, and financing of investment. But if you talk about PM Gati Shakti, it is driven by 7 engines, namely roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways, and logistic infrastructure. The National Master Plan aimed at world-class modern infrastructure and logistics synergy. The formulation of Master Plan for expressways, completing 25,000 kilometer national highway in 2022-23. Unified logistics interface, platform allowing data exchange among all mode operators, open source mobility stack for seamless travel of passengers, 4 multimodal logistic parks through public-private partnership to be awarded in 2022-23, integration of postal and railways network facilitating parcel movement, one station, one product, extending coverage under Kavach, 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains, multimodal connectivity between mass urban transport and railway stations, national roadways development plan as sustainable alternative to conventional road, capacity building for infrastructure projects. About agriculture and food processing, promoting chemical-free natural farming, starting with farmers' land close to River Ganga, promoting post-harvest value addition, consumption, and branding of millet products, delivery of digital and high-tech services to farmers in public-private partnership mode, use of Kishan drones to aid farmers, launching fund with blended capital to finance agricultural startups. If you talk about education, which we, the teaching fraternity, belong, that is universal of quality education. In this regard, the government is planned one class, one TV channel programs to be expanded to 200 TV channels, virtual labs and skilling e-labs to promote critical thinking skill and stimulated learning environment. A digital university will be established with a world quality universal and education. High quality e-connect will be delivered through digital technology, and skill development. About skill development, digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood. This stack e-portal will be launched to promote online training. Startup will be promoted to facilitate drone Shakti for drone as a service. And about health, national digital health ecosystem will be rolled out. National telemental health program will be launched for quality counseling, integrated architecture, Mission Shakti, Mission Bhastalaya, Saksham Anganwadi, and Poshan 2.0 to be launched. 2 lakh Anganwadis to be upgraded to Saksham Anganwadis. About all inclusive welfare products like Har Ghar, Nal Se Jal, 3.8 crores households to be covered in 2022-23. PM Awas Yojana, 80 lakhs houses to be completed in 2022-23. PM Divine to fund infrastructure and social development based on felt needs of Northeast. Aspirational block programs for development of lagging blocks of aspirational districts. Vibrant village program targeting development of villages on the northern border left out from the development gains. Digital banking by post office, 100% of post office to come on the core banking systems. Digital payments, scheduled commercial banks to be set up, 75 digital banking units, 75 districts. Friends, whatever the highlights of the budget we have done every year, we are doing so. The common questions, the acute problem remains. Every year we have the budgetary problem, budgetary provisions. But the basic question is why the budgetary provision has not benefited the real or needy segment of the society. Why the rich richer, poor poorer gap is widening. Whether the government is a watchdog or a bloodhound, or the real implementer of the program, development program. If you talk about the provisions of the budget, if you talk about the budgetary income, if you talk about the public revenue, out of public revenue, 58% comes from taxes, whether it is a direct tax or indirect tax or GST. But how far those taxes are spending towards whom, and who is monitoring, and how far the public revenue or public money is rightly spent, and what are the provisions of the government. You see, if you talk about I'm giving a very small example, the Physical Responsibility and Budget Management Act enacted in 2003, and also it is rolled out, effectively implemented from 5th July 2004. And they have that pegged system, and for 2022-23, the limit has been pegged 3.3. But if you talk about the fiscal deficit, this time it is projected 6.5%. Why? There is a big budgetary variance, where our planner and policymaker, our system going wrong. Unless we address those issues, unless we take the appropriate steps. Second thing I'm talking about, if you talk about that the budgetary systems, if you talk about, if you talk about payment, we are paying interest payment 20%. And also, if you talk about the rupee, how rupee comes out of that, borrowings and other liabilities is 35%. Borrowings and other liabilities. And the government can work on non-tax revenue. But this budget lacks about the spectrum cell. We are not working on it. And another part of this budget, if you talk about that, if you talk about the natural resources, the national monetization of government infrastructure, that is railways, how far we have utilized it. Because if you talk about railway lands, there are so many lands lying with railways and they are not utilized. If those lands will be utilized, and we have that provision, national monetization of government infrastructure, but what we are doing on it? We are not working on it. So it is all about, if you talk about, these are that is non-debt capital receipts, where we can work on it. And non-tax revenue, these are the two prominent areas where we can work and enhances the public revenue. And the most important thing is that is NELP, new exploration licensing policies. There we can focus, because there are so many oil basins are there, like Krishna, Godavari basins. There are so many basins are there where the government can explore the huge amount of revenue, so that once our public revenue will go up and the burden of other part, like the interest part, other part will be gradually reduced, India can be self-reliant, and our budget should focus more on that rather than depending upon the conventional pattern of public revenue, that is revenue generated from taxes. If I request all the panel members today, if they highlight what are the alternative strategy that we can think, and what are the new avenues of public revenue to be inserted, and how far the public welfare programs of the government will reach to the needy segment of the society. And in this context, during the COVID scenario, just we are coming to the normalcy, and we are expecting that the normal will happen within 3 months with the grace of God. Then the unemployment problem is truly sky touching, and especially for higher educations, we are in a transition mode from online mode to offline mode. Then what are the challenges we have? Infrastructure challenges, and changing the behavior, attitude, and psychology of and mindset of the students. And what are the challenges with us, and what are the provisions with us, how we can manage our own budget. And with this, I wish all the best for the discussion, and hope today's budget analysis will be thoughtful and have the real implication to the common man and to the faculty community, and especially to the students who are the learners from this session. Thank you. Thank you. Over to Eknath Munde sir and moderator sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ray, sir. Thank you very much for commenting on the prediction and explaining in very simple word. Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request Honorable Dr. Vijay Kakade, sir, to share their views on this budget session. Honorable Vijay Kakade, sir. Over to you.
Munde sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon to everyone. Am I audible properly?
Yes, yes, sir.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello.
Munde sir,
Yes.
yeah, I have a request. Can you hear me? All of you?
Yes, sir.
I have a train to catch, so I have to finish by 4:45, 4:45. Accordingly, you accommodate me. So at 4:45, I have to leave to catch train.
Okay.
So after that, I cannot speak. I might attend in a motion in a train, but I won't be able to speak. So see that my session concludes by 4:45. Accordingly, you accommodate me. That's it. Request.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So I think that let him speak first. I will speak later on.
Hanik, sir.
Yes. Thanks for entertaining the request.
Okay.
I'm in Bombay. In fact, I told Munde sir as well.
Okay, you can start, sir.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I was a panel.
Kakade, sir.
Let me thank the Rayat Shikshan Sanstha
So,
and SM JOSHI College Management, Principal Kilare sir, and my other panel member colleagues, CA Senapati sir, Kakade sir, and Eknath Munde sir. And dear students, I checked the number of participants, and really it's very encouraging. Students' enthusiasm, desire, intent to learn. Because about 10 days back, I was a panel member on budget discussion only, along with CA Rajendra Senapati sir and Joshi sir. So their topic given to me was budget 2022 booster for MSME sector. Yeah. So I think I will stick to that topic. Is it okay? And plus I'll touch upon other topics as well. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hello?
audible.
Yeah, okay. Now, what are the I would highlight provisions on MSME sector, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Micro, small, and medium enterprises. Because India, we face huge unemployment problem. Unemployment level is at an all-time high. Unemployment level is at an all-time high. So we need to do something drastic. And MSME sector is the one which is essentially labor intensive. We have industries of two types: labor intensive, capital intensive. Capital intensive industries do not generate job per say lakh of capital used or per million of capital used as compared to MSME sector. The government realized, not this government only, even earlier governments have been focusing on MSME sector for being labor intensive. So let me first throw some light on what MSME is all about. We already have Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act 2006. 2006. Okay, three categories are there: micro, small, and medium enterprises. Now, how do we define a micro MSME industry? How do we define? There are two criteria. Micro industry, investment in assets shall not exceed 1 CR and total turnover shall not exceed 5 CR per annum. This is for micro. Small industries, asset limit is 10 crores, turnover limit is 50 crores, 50 crores per annum. And medium enterprises, investment limit in assets is 50 CR and turnover is 250 CR. Turnover shall not exceed 250 CR to be called a medium enterprise. Now, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act has many provisions which are beneficial for these industries. One of the provisions is any payment due to MSME industries shall be paid by the customer within 45 days. If it is not paid within 45 days, then they should disclose as outstanding in their balance sheet and they are liable to pay at interest. Now, Act is very good. We say Act should be implemented in letter and spirit. So in letter, it appears very good, but in spirit doesn't. I was a CFO in a company. I took up matters with many companies about payment within 45 days. Many companies I succeeded, few companies I could not because they refuse to take cognizance. And ultimately, you need business. So you are at their mercy. You are at the receiving end. They are at the giving end. So even if they don't pay for 60 days, 90 days, you have to bear with them. What option do you have? So this is the scenario basically. This is the scenario. And what are now specific provisions in this budget for MSME sector? We have a scheme, already launched scheme, that is known as ECLGS, which is Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. This scheme was launched last year, but was supposed to expire on 31st of March 2022. Has been extended by 1 more year. So it will continue till 31st March 2023. What this scheme provides for? It provides for liquidity. Do you know, last 2 years the country has been in lockdown. So liquidity has been affected. And prior to that as well, after demonetization, many small, medium and micro, small and medium enterprises have faced closure, have been closed down. They suffered a lot. Okay. So to help them, government launched this ECLGS scheme to provide additional liquidity. How does it provide? Condition is turnover of an MSME should not have exceeded 250 crores during financial year 2019-20, and outstanding loan shall not exceed 50 crores. 50 crores. Such MSMEs are eligible for additional 20% loan. Additional 20% of the outstanding amount. Outstanding amount. Suppose you have taken 40 crores loan, or suppose take maximum limit, you have taken 50 crores loan. Provision says your total loan shall not exceed 50 crores. Okay, and turnover shall not exceed 250 crores. Then 20% of 50 crores, additional 10 crores you get. Okay, to meet liquidity. To meet liquidity without any collateral. Banks would not insist on any security. Any security as a collateral. Without collateral, you get 100% would be guaranteed by the government. 100% would be guaranteed by the government. And many units almost what finance minister said. In fact, you know, I noted down highlights of the finance minister's speech, which was very short this time, 90 minutes only. Usually it is 2 hours, 2.5 hours. She finished off within 90 minutes only. So what finance minister said, 1,30,000 units have taken benefit of ECLGS scheme. Of ECLGS scheme. Okay. Another provision, very important provision, this ECLGS. Another important provision, Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for micro and small enterprises. Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for micro and small enterprises has been revised to provide loans up to 100 lakhs, 1 crore. 100 lakhs means 1 crore. 100 lakhs to MSMEs. MSMEs. We call it CGT MSE, Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for micro and small enterprises. Medium enterprises are not included in CGT MSE. Only micro and small enterprises are included in CGT MSE. Plus, government has provided 6,000 crores to rate MSMEs during next 5 years. You know, we have credit rating agencies in our country like CRISIL, ICRA, CARE. They rate companies' credit rating. They rate companies' creditworthiness. Okay, their ability to repay capital, ability to service capital, pay interest. Okay, on the same line, government intends to launch credit rating of MSMEs. Whether MSMEs are taking loan and utilizing it for productive purposes. Accordingly, on parameters they would be rated, and for rating purposes, 6,000 crores has been set aside by the finance minister, and all portals related to MSMEs would be interlinked. Okay, would be brought on one platform, so that any MSME can access and get the services on a single platform. Okay. Similarly, dear students, you might have heard about NABARD, National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development. Okay, it has been separate fund has been given to NABARD, and this fund would finance only startups. You know, you try to understand, dear students, even big companies, when they started, were startups only. Okay, now take Infosys. I will just give one example. Today, Infosys market cap is 7 lakh crores, more than 7 lakh crores, exceeding 7 lakh crores. But many of you might not be knowing, Infosys around 40 years was started by 5 friends with a capital of 10,000 rupees only. Imagine, during their lifetime, okay, within 25 years, company from 10,000 crores, now company has crossed 7 lakh crores. It was higher, in fact, now has come down because market has corrected. Just imagine. So once upon a time, even Infosys was a startup. So you can say, and we have, Senapati sir would touch upon that. Even recently, many of our startups have reached have gone to the next level. Yes, have gone to the next level. I will not touch upon that point. Senapati sir would definitely touch upon. Yes. Now, Ratikanta Rai sir said that some strategy should be given. Rai sir, if you can hear me, after our session at DY Patil, I read an article. 142 Indians, 142, if students are Marathi 142, 142 richest Indians, 142 richest Indians, their combined wealth is 53 lakh crores. 53 lakh crores is the combined wealth of 142 richest Indians. Okay. Now, how to solve? I'll come to fiscal deficit part also, and then I will conclude by 4:30 only. Okay. So, if 53 lakh crores one time, or maybe for a couple of years, 2-3 years, okay, even if government taxes them, only 142 Indians, 142 out of, I would say, 140 crore Indians. What is the drop in the ocean? Okay, quantity wise. Quality wise, they themselves are an ocean, okay, because they have 53 lakh crore wealth, more than country's budget. Imagine, country's budget is hardly 23-24 lakh crores. Entire country's budget is 23-24 lakh crores. 142 Indians wealth is 53 lakh crores. So why not tax them at least 1% for 2-3 years and get about 1 lakh crores? 1,50,000 crores and spend on social sectors. Gap. We are one of the most unequal countries in the world. Gap between the rich and the poor has widened during lockdown. Crores of Indians, figure is more than 10 crore. 10 to 12, 13 crore Indians have been pushed back into poverty. Absolute abject poverty. Many more Indians would be pushed back into poverty. So why not act 1% for 142 Indians, richest Indians is not a big deal in the cause of nation. Okay, why can't government? Why should they come up? Why can't they come up and volunteer to pay? Or government should pass an act and let them pay 1% for 2-3 years. Yes. That is, and then last point I'll touch upon about fiscal deficit. Rai sir said about fiscal deficit. Last year, our fiscal deficit was 6.9%. FRBM Act, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, mandated that ideally our fiscal deficit should be between 3 to 3.5%, not more than that. Okay, 6.9% is more than double what Act provided for. Okay, now for the sake of students, just I'll briefly explain what is fiscal deficit. When we say the fiscal deficit last year was 6.9%, take for understanding purposes 7%. What it means? It means we earn 93 rupees every year, spend 100 rupees. It means we spend 7 rupees more than what we earn. How long can it continue? Like there was a Hindi movie, you might have heard at least title, Amdani Athani, Kharch Rupaya. Okay, you earn 50 rupees, 50 paise, you spend 100 paise. How long can that continue? Okay, so we need fiscal discipline. We need financial discipline, and in fact, it has to start from the top. Our leaders should set an example that yes, government is serious about tax collection. Government is serious about wasteful expenditure, cutting wasteful expenditure. Okay, only that will bring down fiscal deficit. Otherwise, if things go out of control, inflation is already high. 2 days back, only data was published by targeted inflation. Government says between 2 to 6%. Minimum 2 to 6%. It has already crossed to 6%. Okay, wholesale price index, wholesale price inflation, 2 days back data I have was 12.96%. Imagine if inflation is so high, and last time also at DY Patil, I highlighted this point. Inflation is taxation without legislation. It means it is tax without law. Worst form of tax poor are required to pay. And Senapati sir, we spoke about GDP growth last time. So I don't mind. We grow at 10%, 10%, provided inflation is around 3%. So our real GDP growth 7%, fine. Otherwise, nominal growth is 12%, but inflation is 7%. Real growth is only 5%. Better have 10%, fine. I am okay with 10%. But inflation within limit, within limit. In fact, Prime Minister other day only said, when Prime Minister addressed the Parliament, Prime Minister said that next session, next day, he was going to touch upon inflation only, because our leaders know, because inflation, poor people are the worst hit, So this is in short about this budget highlights. And thanks for giving me the time, and thanks for giving me time out of turn because of things beyond my control. But I will be as a listener, but I won't be able to speak after 4:45. Thank you very much, sir. If you have any questions, queries, we can take up at the end.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, Hanif sir. Express your view on budget 2022-23. Because of Kakade sir, you can catch your train. And best wishes for your journey, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the
Am I audible, Kakade sir? Am I audible?
Yes.
Kakade sir?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. We are really very sorry, sir, for
No, sir.
inconvenience.
No, it's not a matter of management. No issue.
Because of Hanif sir have to catch their train. Because
Yes,
of their request, we should have to entertain their permission.
Definitely, no issue.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your patience. And now you can express your views.
Good afternoon to one and all. Honorable Khilari sir, who was happened to be my close friend in Kolhapur, and I hope that he's very happy and is contributing much more in the HADAPSAR college. Firstly, I congratulate the team leaders for organizing this kind of a webinar after presentation of the budget, when the details are now, the cat is out of the box now. And so we have now better details of the budget. At the same time, we also heard a lot of discussions, panel discussions also. And so my friends who are listening this webinar may get a better insight that how government is managing our economy. What are the basic issues that are being faced by the country, and to what extent the sincerity, the efforts that are being made, that can be seen. The earlier speakers have thrown light on the details of some budget, some niceties of the budget were explained by Ratikant sir. Similarly, our friend Sheikh also has commented on the provisions related with the micro and small enterprises. But really, if you look at the budget in total, because the budget is for a year, for the prospect coming year, what the government proposes regarding the income and expenditure, and what are the ways and means of their revenue and the heads on which it is going to spend, that is elaborated. But it is not just mere play of the statistics. It has wider implications. For everyone, there is something in the budget, and so especially young students must see the budget, and not only the budget, but what is between the lines also. When we get a lot of details, the details are there, but they are hiding something. So naturally, we have to concentrate on reading the budget in a proper perspective. The proper perspective differs from person to person. When I'm a salary earner, I always expect that, but there should be some income tax cut in the budget. If I'm a senior citizen, I expect that government should offer some concession to me. If I'm in agriculture, I hope that there should be relaxation in the interest rate or some kind of interest waiver in the budget. So everyone expects something from the budget. The industries also expect a lot of things from the budget. They suggest and submit a separate memoranda also. But all these things, the finance minister takes into consideration, and then there are also political compulsions on them. Considering all these dimensions together, when the budget comes, the experts comment on that in a different way. If the experts are inclining to the ruling party, they say that the budget is very good. On the other hand, if I am a critic of the government, I say that the budget is worst. But the truth lies in between. The mounting issues of the Indian economy that everybody knows and feels the pinch of the problem is that we are having the highest rate of unemployment. And this unemployment, again, most troubling feature is that the unemployment amongst the youth, amongst the young people, is the highest one. Secondly, and more importantly, for which my earlier speaker Sheikh has touched, is the problem of inflation. That we are facing the inflation. Inflation is the tax on all people without legislation. That is what we can say. But inflation is mounting, and the corona impact on the economy is also there. Considering all these dimensions together, when we are in the Amrit period, when we are celebrating 75 years of the freedom, and we are marching towards the celebration of 100 years together, after 25 years we'll be there. But friends, when we are talking about budget, the budget should not be only glorious words and promises. What really they are offering, what the ground realities they are recognizing and putting the horse before the cart, these are important issues. So in that perspective, when we look at the budget, you see that the budget provisions which are there, the budget details which are there are now known to everyone, but this budget has given very high emphasis on heavy investment in the infrastructure. I welcome this step because unless we build infrastructure, we cannot augment or we cannot go for accelerated growth. We require double-digit growth. And for double-digit growth, the government has taken a due cognizance that we should invest into the programs of Gati, programs of Shakti. We have to go for energy transformation. The EV era is now there. So naturally, we have to look into these dimensions. So this is one important welcome step that government has taken, that it is giving emphasis on the infrastructural development. Secondly, and more importantly, considering the digital revolution, the government has given due emphasis on digital dimension of the economy. Even the drones are going to be used for estimating the crops in the agriculture sector. They are going to give us a digital rupee in the coming financial year. So all these are highly welcome steps which are going to lead the country towards the accelerated growth. The details of investment, how they are coming, or the level of deficit on which our earlier experts have commented, that deficit and the limit of the deficit or FRBM limit that has been posed on us, definitely it is important. But when we are in uncommon situation, we should not go for a tight kind of a program for controlling the deficit. We require disciplined fiscal deficit. But when the situation is very serious, when the country and when the world was facing with such kind of a corona impact, the limit on the deficit was required to be raised, and that the government has done it. But when it comes to the other details of the part as such, the budget has missed the bus to a great extent on a number of areas. Firstly, and most importantly, the point on which we are discussing is the inflationary impact. The inflationary impact needs to be curtailed, but on the other hand, if our income is increased via employment generation, then naturally we feel less burden of the inflation. So how the government is going to augment the employment scenario? Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that she is going to provide employment to 60 lakh people. My friends, if you look at the new entrants in the labor market, nearly every year, more than 2 crore youngsters are joining the employment field. So they are demanding the job, but the jobs are not there. That is very serious issue. The Manarega provision which was there, now they have reduced in an effective way. And so naturally, the assurance of the employment to the poorest of the poor in terms of the Manarega is going to be hampered. How we are going to did the economy in a better, equal way, that was also another issue. In fact, for any budget or any policy, in order to evaluate, one simple tool that has been given by Mahatma Gandhi is that you just look at the face of the last man. He called him Daridri Narayan. If your policy measure is going to benefit him, is going to reduce at least one wrinkle on his face, that is a good policy. And if it is going to increase the tension of the poorer, naturally that is a bad policy. When you look at the impact of the budget on the poor, the impact of the budget on the middle income group, then the budget doesn't get much more marks. When it comes to providing incentive to the industries, to the corporate sector, yes, the budget has played its role. For the corporate sector, earlier also, the highest corporate tax was reduced from 30% to the 22%, and now we are coming to 15%, which is at par with the global level also. But friends, do you know that reducing the tax rate on the corporate sector has given more than 1 lakh crores in the pocket of the multinationals and big houses as such? Is it coming in forms of the investment? That is another issue. But the budget has given generously to the corporate sector, but on the other hand, the middle income group, the salaried group, the poor people who were expecting some kind of a bounty, some kind of a benefits to them, it has been bypassed to them. There is no such kind of a concession to them in terms of the income tax provisions. A small provision which has been made to the pensioners is that the pension income is going to be untaxed, or the income tax will not be applicable to that. That is a welcome step. But friends, in a wider way, in a larger scenario, the budget has not looked at the essential problems of the economy. The most serious problem of the economy is creating employment at all levels. Providing the basic minimum income to the Indian people. Unless and until you have income, you cannot participate in the market. You cannot buy the food. You become a beggar. And as rightly pointed out, Hanif Sheikh, that because of the corona, more than 10 crore people are suppressed, pushed again in the below poverty line. Now, what happens with these people? What happens with the education of these people? What happens with the kids of these people? We are missing all these kids, their education, and that is the greatest loss to the country that we may suffer. So, the first charge on the rupee, when the rupee comes to government, who should get the first charge, the first share is the poor. Unfortunately, for the poor, there are promises. And you know, the promises are always there to break. No promise that government has given has kept itself. You may recall that 5 years back, our Honorable Prime Minister has said that after 5 years, there will not be any person without shelter. It means everyone will have his home after 5 years. He was speaking 5 years back. But right, what is right now? Here again, we have the schemes for providing housing to a large number of people. So we are keeping the promise. 5 years back, our Prime Minister has said that we are going to double the income of the farmers in 2022. What happened with the income of the farmers? The number of farmers would have reduced to 50% because of the deaths or because of the suicides and all that. So in the agricultural sector, rural sector, no doubt we require roads, no doubt we require storage facility, but at the same time, we require more employment opportunities and again to the poorest of the poor. The entire program the government is running during the corona and after also is that it is concentrating on supply side. It is not considering the demand side. Demand side means that you put money in the hands of the poor people will come in the market and there will be great demand for various goods and services. This is a simple Keynesian economics. But our government is putting more and more money in the hands of the rich and rich people. The data is very clear that there were only 100 billionaires, now 142 billionaires with a massive wealth of 55 lakh crores together. What does it mean? That the gap between the rich and poor is increasing. In a simple way, the person who is earning highest salary, if a person with normal salary, he wants to cover up that salary, he would have to, for 1 year of salary, this common man has to work for 940 years together. So 1 year salary of one person at the top, and on the other hand, the salary of common man for the 940 years together are equal. So this is the gap between the income, the gap between the wealth, that is also very clear. The gap between the income is also clear. The gap between haves and have-nots is increasing, and it is the serious danger for the democratic setup, because the poor people who don't have the resources, the young people who don't have the employment, they will come on the roads and there will be a chaotic situation, and that may be a very serious danger for the economy. What happened with the entire agricultural sector, industrial sector, service sector, the very budding sector, that is the startups and all that, our economy is having greatest challenges. We are posed with such a situation where global economy is looking at India. Global economy looks India as a source of brain power. So we are in the era of knowledge. And so naturally, to tackle the knowledge opportunities in the global economy, we should have greater and greater emphasis on knowledge building. And this knowledge building should start from the schools itself. Our schools are closed, nobody worries about it. The online and offline, whatever is going on, it is very clear that the education sector has seen a very serious setback, for which the government is not making any provisions, and it is not looking at the schooling sector as such. We say that there should be provision on the budget. Nearly 60% of the budget should go, or GDP should go for health and education. What is the proportion that we are spending? We are not spending more than 3%. The health sector, which was requiring a very much attention, and we thought as an expert that the government will come with some serious measures to improve the health sector together. Unfortunately, the government has completely bypassed the provisions in the health sector, that the corona has made a serious impact on the entire budget of the common man. The poor families were compelled to borrow at very excessive rate in order to get the treatment of their family members. Unfortunately, because of this, the families are forced under the below poverty line. What happened with these people? It's very clear that in India, the medical expenses are made out of pocket. In foreign countries, in other developed countries, the government provides them all the medical facilities together, and out of pocket, they spend not more than 10 rupees. In India, we spend 86% of the total expenses on medical facilities, or for taking the treatment on the medical case. So, friends, the corona has made a serious impact on the budget of the families. What the government has done, what concession has given in the budget? There are no serious any concessions regarding so far as the medical treatment is considered. It was expected that government should come in a great way on these two sectors, education and health, which were greatly affected by the corona. A correction was required, a helping hand was required, but unfortunately it was not there. So when it comes to the priority sectors as such, where the government is looking at, this was the opportunity to Nirmala Sitaram to take the bold decisions, because next year budget will be a populist budget, because we are going to have the elections. So naturally, the entire budget would have been more daring. One merit of the budget is that despite elections in the 5 states, it is not a populist budget in that way. So she has kept, in a way, some kind of a strict lines, and she has shown that we are going to solve the long-term problems. But what is about the short terms? My question is about the short-term problems of mounting unemployment, rising inflation, these and the crying medical and education sector. All these are kept on waiting list. They say that we are coming to you, but after a gap, and this gap may be of 25 years. Because she's talking about the second is where you will have all these things together. For friends, the problems are very urgent. Making the solutions which are long-term needs. You require food, but the person says, we are going to give the food after 1 year. What is the use of that? Friends, we require urgent attentions. We require immediate measures to rectify
There are some technical issues. Kakade sir is not visible and not audible to hear. Right now, wait a minute. There are some technical issues are there.
मैं त्यांनी conclude करवा दो.
तुम्ही एक्झिट नाही होत. हा तुम्ही परत जॉईन करा, एक्झिट नका. स्क्रीनवर बघा.
Guys, there are some technical issues. Wait a minute for the joining of the Kakade sir. Once again. Am I audible, sir? Kakade sir? Okay. Am I audible, Kakade sir? Hello, Kakade sir? As we can see that you are on the way to conclude your session. Now you can conclude your session, sir. You are not audible, sir. Please.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir, right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Conclude your
Sorry
session.
for that. Some kind of technical snag was there. Anyway, the budget that we are looking at, the budget that was given the details right now, it shows that there is a focus on long-term development via the investment in the infrastructure sector, especially the long-term issues that the more trains are coming up, more roads are going to be built, all that is going to generate the employment and all that. In fact, roads are the basic requirement of development. It is said that America is rich and so they have good roads. In other way, there are good roads and that's why the America is rich. This is the what we can say, the arguments for having the infrastructure. The infrastructure plays no doubt an important role, but along with infrastructure, there should be a social infrastructure. Social infrastructure in the form of job to everyone, income assurance to everyone. And so we are talking about an innovative scheme in which there was a lot of discussion even in the government sector also, that we should give or we should be in a position to provide the minimum basic income to the poor people. Now, this kind of a facility is provided as universal basic income through the global scenario. But in India, we require such kind of facility because the poverty is acute now. We are missing the good people, healthy people because of the poverty. And so efforts should be made that the budget should provide more attention to the health, to the education, and to the welfare of the people. The government is not providing these kind of facilities to the people as a whole. They are concentrating on the large industrial houses. They are providing the freebies and concessions to them. No doubt it is required. The size of the cake must increase. The distribution is also important. So growth is important. We are going for having a double-digit growth. But along with that, who is going to share that growth? If that growth is going to create superhighways and all that, and we are ignoring the rural roads, rural connectivity, that is not going to help India to build up a prosperous and a balanced nature. Unfortunately, the entire focus is on growth and there is no attention to the social justice as given in the entire budget. So the budget is a long-term solution for the short-term problems. The short-term problems are acute one. They are of inflation, they are of unemployment of the youth people. And what is happening with our entire population? We say that we are having the youngest population in the world. We can become the service provider for the entire world. It is reality. The Indian brain, Indian kind of all assets that we have, we can materialize them and act as a global source of knowledge. But that requires very good schools, that requires colleges, that requires affordable education. Unfortunately, we are not having that. We are not looking at these issues in a serious way. It is the responsibility of the government to provide the public goods at first. And these public goods includes education, good health, internal law and order. All these questions are at backseat. What is at front seat? Front seat is the growth rate. We are going to attain double-digit growth or like that, but this is not sufficient. It is essential, but not sufficient. And in that perspective, I think that the budget has missed the one important dimension, and that is the social welfare dimension. They have given stress on generating the growth momentum that our exports are booming. The assumptions which are taken in the budget that oil price will remain around $75 per barrel. But now we are experiencing that it has crossed the $100 also. That is going to create serious issues in the coming days. And we have to pay again a heavy price of inflation in the coming days. So we have to reduce the dependency on oil. And for that, one welcome step, that is for the edible oil, the government has made a mission oil. But on the other hand, how we are going to march towards a self-reliant country, towards a prosperous country, towards a country where attention is given to the poorest of the poor. And so this becomes then inclusive growth. Speaking inclusive growth and putting in a real term all the dimensions of the real growth, these are the different things. I hope that this should be included. And when you look at the budget in nutshell, in detail, or when we read between the lines, then it is clear that budget is made for the corporate sector, it is for the long-term budget, and it missed the short-term but urgent issues which are faced by you and me, and especially my young citizens, my young friends who are aspiring for a developed India. We have to concentrate on their energies. Then the Shakti will be given to these people, to the unemployed youth, and then the Gati will come, which will take us towards more balanced India, where the wealth generation, income generation, along with social welfare comes together. That is what our constitution provides the provision. And in that perspective, I think the budget has missed the opportunity. It has the great opportunity. And in the discussion now, we will have more questions also. I thank the organizer for permitting me. And I'm very sorry because of some technical snag, I couldn't contact with you in details, but the questions that you may have, we can go for the question and answers, I said. But I'm happy that earlier two experts also shared their pinpointed view on the budget. They have given the ideas, and the detailed analysis was given by Rutikanta sir. And he expected that what we should suggest or what we expect, that is more important. That budget should be analyzed, budget should reach to the people, to the students, to the young people, because we are in a democratic setup and we have control over the government as a voter, as a serious citizens. And so it is essential that such programs should be taken in a serious way. I appreciate the efforts taken by the team, and especially my honorable friend Khilare sir, who is always a kind of a source for energy for all together, and the team which has worked together. I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We have become a fan of your sincerity, sir. The way of you are talking is very nice. Your voice is too clear. Nice to see your knowledge about budget. No one can do this way. In this way, you can present it. Thank you so much.
There is one.
Sorry. Please unmute yourself.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There was a question raised regarding the crypto. The government has given trust on the digital dimension, and all we know that bitcoins and a number of cryptocurrencies are there which are being stored, traded, and India is one of the biggest crypto market in the world together. So far, investment is concerned in terms of the number of it's more than 2 crores people are having a cryptocurrency license. So naturally, how the government is looking at the crypto, one positive step that government is taking that they impose a 30% tax for the benefit that we are getting, that the crypto people, the investors are getting. And secondly, and more importantly, there is 1% transaction tax. So even if somebody gives a gift as a crypto, then also there will be tax on it. Putting the tax on crypto means that you are bringing this asset, crypto asset in the mainstream. There was a lot of suspicion how the government is looking behind the crypto, whether they are going to put a complete ban or not ban. This is an asset of demand. Cryptocurrency is also an asset of or currency of demand. And our government, that is the central bank, is also putting a central bank digital currency, which is also going to be based on the technology which is required. Cryptos are based on what is known as the blockchain technology. So naturally, this is a big step that the government has taken, a very good step that has been taken, and I appreciate when the crypto taxation is implemented.
Thank you so much, sir, for concluding your session. Thank you so much once again. Now, I would like to call to the Rajendra Senapati, sir, to express their view on budget. Please, Rajendra Senapati, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks to SM Joshi College management for giving me opportunity being here as one of the speakers, and my respected chairperson, Dr. Khilari sir, and the chief guest, Dr. Ratikant Rai sir, and moderator, Dr. Munde sir, and other members. And along with that, key speakers, Dr. Vijay sir, and Mr. Hanif sir also, and respected my students. So I will present one PPT. So I will be share the screen. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
So this budget is annual exercise. So it happens every year. So what is the budget? Is this a difference? So is the budget is long term or short term? If the budget is for only applicable for 1 year, how will you able to see that from the perspective it is growth oriented or it is for the futures? This budget, it is totally different because India just completed 75 years of independence. And this budget, the theme is that where India to be in next 25 years. Means we want to see India in the 100 years of independence. So here it is not any specific for 1 year period. If you see, not much impact or announcement is given in the taxation, which is that benefited to the general public, specifically salary peoples. And it is given that roadmap and foundations where that the India should be. So which already discussed that my fellow speakers. The two areas where that importance of focus is there. One is the infrastructure. Second is that the digitalization. Without digitalization, we will not be stand in this world. So the two topics is there, and I will also cover that where that growth, along with that our deficit of budgets and the GDP, and I will cover that direct tax. So before that, one day before the budget, economic survey was there. So it was presented the economic survey. So which is that from 21 to 24, where it will be. So GDP project growth is 8 to 8.5%. It is in next financial year. And current year, the Indian economy will grow by 9.2%. So this one will be the one of the fastest growing nation in the world. So by GDP, it is 8 to 85% as a 9%, overtaking the China. Second, that is agriculture to grow by 3.9% in the current financial year, and industrial sector to expand by 11.8% in the current year, as against contraction of 7% last financial year. It is the due to impact of COVID. Services to grow in the current financial, it is 8.2%. Against negative growth of 8.4% is the last financial year. So we have a very good strong forex reserves, which is around $634 billion as of December 21, which is equivalent to 13 months of our imports and higher than country's external debts, which is a very good sign. If you see that, newspaper or any electronic media, the Pakistan is struggling for that for forex reserves, which is that 1 or 2 months of their reserve which is there. Or if you see that in Sri Lanka, although we are not supposed to compare with Pakistan or Sri Lanka, but the importance of a forex reserve is for the Indian economy so that they can survive. So it has happened the last financial year due to COVID. And next is that macroeconomic stability. It indicates, suggests that Indian economy is well placed to take on the challenges in 22-23. If a few factors I'm telling you that if you that IPO in that capital market, companies raise 89,066 crores. In the current year, it is in that 9 months. Yeah, 8 months, which is higher than in any year in the last 10 years. Next is that number of unicorns. So number of unicorns in India, it is 83, which is the third highest in the world, only next to China and USA. You have a long way to go. This is the change in perception. Our study education is that to get a job, it is a service oriented only. So we are not developing and creating a culture and environment to create other entrepreneurship, which is the need of the hour. Because we are, all my fellow speakers has mentioned, unemployment is one of the key area. If everybody wants a service, who will provide a service then? Is that a government will create a job only? Or it is that entrepreneurships, it is the environment will be created so that a young generation will go for, not for service purposes, they will go for entrepreneurship. So previously, we don't have in India that much of infrastructure or environment to go for the startups. So all the brains, it was moving out to US or other countries, Singapore, US, and other developed countries to put their efforts. But that change has happened because 83 unicorns is not a small number. And if you see the current year in 2022, around 7 or 80 unicorns has been met. So this, which is the positive, that it is not only unicorns, they create that environment and they create a job opportunity also. So what is the key development? Because a lot of things is already discussed. I will not go into detail, just to what is the policy, because to take it is forward for the next 25 years. So more focus was there, it is in infrastructures. So in the Gati Shakti master planning, and the capital expenditure is that 34%. I have one chart is there, how the government plans from last 3 to 4 years, how they are spending the money in capital and the revenue. So I will take through that. Focus on sunrise sectors and the digital economy, because the digital is the now, it is the real life. So without digitalization, we are not, how long will continue with the offline? Because the way the changes is happening due to COVID. So it is an online mode of education anytime. It is now we are able to do this conference or seminar online only. So which previously it was out of questions. We are not able to think about that. So government will contribute to that in R&D for sunrise sectors. 5G spectrum auction will happen in 23. And the PLI for 5G technology manufacturing in ecosystem. I will say something little bit even PLI. So this PLI was introduced few years back. Few years back, we are the net importer of mobile handsets. So government few years back declared that the PLI, if any company, domestic or overseas company will invest in India, they will be able to get this incentive. From net importers, today we are the net exporter of mobile handsets. Government has kept a target of $5 billion. We have already achieved that $20 billion of a net exporter of mobile handsets as of today. So this is the positive things, that this is the initiative doing something differently. So it is a two-way, that getting the job opportunity and to protect the forex reserve also. Digital currency to be launched by the Reserve Bank of India next financial year. India will be the few country where they will have own digital currency. So everybody knows that it is a cryptocurrency is there. So whether it is a different story, government so far has not legalized the cryptocurrency in India. They have only charged that 30% of income tax on the income of a cryptocurrency. They have not said that it is legalized, because it is a speculative type of thing. So putting high rate of income tax, government is suggesting that don't invest in cryptocurrency indirectly. Infrastructure status for data centers. So what is this importance of data centers is there? If we look everybody, all our MNCs, take it as Amazon, Google, or everybody for Facebook, they have all their data centers outside of India. So government is pushing that they should have data centers in India. So to protect the privacy of the Indian customers. So to encourage that, government has this, because it is a capital intensive, unless until they give some benefit. Once they declare it is infrastructure status, means all these companies who will invest in data centers, they will get a lower rate of interest on the loans to finance the data centers. So this is the importance of from that point of view. Strong pivot towards a climate change and a clean energy transition, which is the need of the hour. Because due to this climate change, lot of lives is lost because irregular things is happening. Take it as that rain or the summer. So it is happening. So government is putting that PLI again for manufacture high efficiency modules and to kept the bloating fund of 19,500 crores. So the government has put it that for green energy, battery swapping policy, all these things, it is a part of their clean energy transitions. Certain things they have doing that ease of doing business too. India is improved in ease of doing business in a ranking worldwide, but still a lot of things needs to be improved. So that's why they will come out two. One is done, and what is the next? And focus on digital portals in infrastructure, agriculture, and already it is covered that health, education, a lot of the channels they are planning. How it will be implemented, this is the planning stage, policy stage. The implementation is yet to see. So we're not able to comment at this moment. Government also making necessary changes in ACZ and for that, which is the old one. ACZ, which is that for special economic zones for specifically for exports. And they're putting one export commit for scaling of private investment, venture capital investments. So simply say that GDP, how it is that in over a period of time. It is a financially what is the nominal and the real is the GDP. This year, we are expecting that in the nominal from the 7.5% will be the GDP growth. If we compare to financial year 20. And for next year, it is 8.7%. And in a real growth is 3.1. It will say that it is a 0.8, it is union budget for the next year. GDP growth they have kept is 11.1%, and the real growth of 8%. So inflation they captured is the kept target of 2.9%, which is around 6% as of today, this year. So the target is kept as 2.8%. See, inflation is that it is a big topic, and it is not only in India, it is in all over the world. If we see that the USA, so there it is the highest, 7.5% is the inflation rate today, which is that from more than, I think it is 1982. After that, their inflation rate is like this. Again, in the European Union, it is around 5 point some percentage is their inflation. It is due to stimulus packages government, all the governments has declared, they push money in the hands of the common man to spend more. So due to that, the inflation is happening. So it will be remain that because due to that external factors, if you see Ukraine and Russia, where the fuel prices is increased like anything. Now it is more than $100 per barrel, which is supposed to be, it is in 60, 70 per dollar per barrel. So it is one of the adding that for inflation. See here that how the government is spending. Suppose 100 rupees is spending government. If it is from financial year 19 to next year. So how they are spending this? If it is the revenue expenditure was 87% in 19, which is the target 81% in next financial year, FY23. And capital expenditure, it is increasing the 19%. So government was telling that they increase the capital expenditure next year by 30%. Because of 5.5 lakh crores capital expenditure they have this year, financial year 22, and they are capturing it as 7.5 lakh crores for next financial year. In the 100% people is the where is the maximum money we are spending? See that interest payment. Our interest payment is going day by day, it is increasing. So it is due to that, it is a fiscal deficit. I will cover in the next slide how it is. If you see the interest payment, it is the percent of revenue. It is that 37 to it is increased to 43%. If you say that, what is the percentage of GDP? Our debt is that it is for the centers, it is around 58 to 59%. Combined centers and state governments, it is around 89% or 90% near about. So due to that, basically our interest payout is increasing. So the good part is that a capital expenditure, they here that if you see they have kept the education for the purpose of education 1.4%, which is still it is low level. It should be more than the 2 to 3%. Public health and medical facilities, they reduced to next year. For the current year, it was 2.8%. They reduced to 2.5%. Although it is increased substantially from previous years. Major amount is going in defense services, pensions, apart from the interest. Yes, this is the fiscal deficit. Everybody was talking that. If we say that this is the target by fiscal responsibility and budget management, this is the target given to the government that the fiscal deficit should be 3%. Whereas if we say this is a 9.2, 6.9, and 6.4 is the government has kept for the next financial year. And for FY26, it is a 4.5%, way ahead than the 3% of a target set by the committee. And here it is, if you see that the centers debt to the GDP, target is a 40, and we are here, it is near about to 60%. So here the gap is 20%. So this is the creating a problem. The more the deficit, so economic imbalance will be there. So government has to work on this, how to control the fiscal deficit. So I'll cover that some technical points of that direct tax. Everybody knows that there is nothing is for the salary peoples. I'll give a small analysis why it is there is no change, no benefit isn't passed on to the salary peoples or to the general public income tax rate. As per the government data, around 6.9 crores of income tax return files in the year. 75% files income tax with of 5 lakh only. Everybody knows if your income is up to 5 lakhs, then zero tax you will pay. 75% is income tax return filed is up to 5 lakhs. 17 to 18% is income tax return files up to 5 to 10 lakhs of income. Only 7 to 8% files income tax return for more than 10 lakh. If I will say, I will separate salary and non-salary. Salary people's average salary people's pays income tax of around 90,000. And non-salary people's pays income tax of 33,000 only. If government will increase this slab to give the benefit, who will be benefited more? Non-salary people, so the business persons. So that from that point of view, government of they have not given, because in one of the seminars, so we in ICAI, so we called the Revenue Secretary Mr. Tarun Bajaj and the CBDT Chairman Mr. Mahapatra. So Mr. Tarun Bajaj has given this statistics, why they have not reduced or changed any income tax slabs with this database. If you will see that in Times of India on the 3rd of February newspaper, you will be able to find that his announcements and all the data also he has provided there. 15% cap on surcharge, it is all applicable. It is capital assets. Previously, it was a higher side, 25 to 30% was also there. Here it is for the benefit that tax relief for COVID related compensation. If any amount the family members will get from their employer or from any other person due to for the treatment of COVID-19, then it will be tax free. So this is something, it is just for the sake of benefit, and the compensation received only within 12 months from the date of the individual eligible exemption. Within 12 months has to receive. But there is some cap. If they will receive from any other person, then it is up to 10 lakh. It is exempted. So they have done that. Previously it was not there. Previously it is only 3 months there. You can update or revise your income tax returns. Now they have increased to the updated to next 2 years. Suppose for this last financial year, you can update in next 24 months. So your income tax return, but it is not that easy, but you have to pay more. If you want to update, then you have to pay, if it is within 12 months, 25% of additional tax and interest. Suppose your tax liability is coming 10,000, then 25% of that tax and interest will pay. If it is in 24 months, then 50% of that. But there is a catch. You can update your income tax return if there is any additional income tax liability will be there. If there is no liability, you cannot be. You cannot reduce also. So that is the secret is behind that. So nobody is telling that. So they are mentioning it is only you can update. There are some changes in charitable trust. So I thought it will be applicable all educational charitable trust. As per the rule, suppose you are 100 rupees is your income, 85% you have to spend for the specified purposes, educational purposes only. So far till this year, it was on accrual basis. One example, suppose for the month of March, salary payment happens in the month of April. So here it is allowed in calculation of 85% of expenses. But from next year onwards, on the basis of payment only, they will count. If I not make the payment, then they will not calculate this 85%. This is the changes is happened. And this for the putting that, government is for putting that additional manufacturing for the industry. If you will create any new manufacturing setup, then we can avail the concessional rate of a 15% income tax rate against a 25%. So they extended for 1 more year. So it is relating to that. So that they are encouraging that for foreign investors or domestic companies to put new manufacturing setups to avail this benefit. At the same time, government also all the startups. So all the startups, if they will be registered, they can avail 3 years of income tax benefit out of 10 first years. So they also extended 1 more year up to 31st March 2023 to avail this benefit for startups companies. I think this is one that cryptocurrency was there. So I think someone has raised the questions. So I thought with that this is important. Lot of things is happening and a lot of discussion is happening. So income from virtual digital assets, it will be taxed at 30%. Only cost of acquisition will be allowed as a deduction. No other deduction will be allowed. At the same time, if there is any loss, that not allowed to set off with any other incomes. This is affect provisions and detail take effect from assessment year 2023-24. Gift of virtual digital asset will be benefit taxable in the hands of the recipient. TDS at 1% is introduced for virtual digital asset transactions, and this is applicable from 1st July 22. So already mentioned that is SAG provisions, this will be replaced by new legislation to enable the states to become the partners in the development of enterprise and the service hubs to cover the existing new industrial enclaves to optimally utilize the infrastructures and enhance export competitiveness. And they're also doing certain things, the custom administration of SEZ to function on the customs national portal with effect on 30th of September 22. So with this, I close, complete my on the budget points, key points. So I'm ready to take if any there is any questions or any points are there.
Yes, sir.
We have already question answer session, sir.
Yeah.
After that, you can just join.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Special thanks to Honorable Rajendra Senapati, sir, for attending and discussing presentation and for his excellent presentation, even though he was not well. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Now this session is open for discussion. So if you have any questions, participant, you have any questions?
The participant who have any questions, any doubts regarding this budget session, they can ask the questions to any of resource person. They can raise your hand and ask the questions to our resource person. Please unmute your mic and do ask questions to our resource person. Please, is there anybody who wanted to ask the question?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, my question is for Rajendra sir.
Okay. What's your name, please?
Jayant Mandre.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please ask your question.
As a middle class person, what should be my expectation from this budget?
Okay. See, expectation is a happening. Expectation is everybody wants that, you know, I have to pay less tax. Okay. Common man, it is, I am putting that it's a per salary, non-salary persons. Again, it is a different. From salary person, we want to pay less tax. And common person is that, you know, how will able to get benefit out of that. If specifically India is a less tax compliant country, majority of people are not paying tax. Anybody, you will go to the any shop. If shop will asking that, you know, if need bill or not. If need bill, it will be GST will be there much. You pay cash and I will not give you any bill and it will be less by this much. Then you are choosing that which one. Generally, people prefer that it is on cash without bill. So unless until we'll play a big role, that everybody has a role that will pay tax. If the tax will pay, then it will come. It will be make it stronger to the government to distribute money. That, you know, it is that a social security is a need of the hour. How everybody should get proper educations, shelter, water connectivity, electricity, everything. How it will be possible? If government have a sufficient money, and collection of government money is basically from the tax. So first, my appeal to everyone is that, you know, pay genuinely tax to the extent possible, not to go for the shortcut. Is it okay, Jayant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Jayan sir. Thank you, Senapati sir. Is there anyone who wanted to ask the question? Sir, I have one question. Kakade sir, I hope that they are here right now. Kakade sir. Yes, sir, please. I have one question here. Can I ask question, sir?
Yes, go on, please.
Yes, thank you, sir. Before we can see that, sir, I have one question. What is that? Why was it is necessary to consolidate the railway budget, which was earlier presented separately?
Yes, we have separate budgets.
Yes, sir.
It was a British tradition that we got regarding presenting the budget, and we have made a number of changes.
Yes,
The time, the date, as well as clubbing of the railway budget. Railway, though it was a bigger entity in the case of the public sector, the revenue and the expenses that are going to be contributed by the central government, and so it was thought out that instead of having two budgets, let's have a combined budget together, and that was done.
Yes.
So the rationale is to economize the entire setup, and there was no need or any rationale for having a separate railway budget as such.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, Sirji, hello.
Yes, yes.
I have one question. In this budget, why they reduce the expenditure on Manarega and subsidy on agriculture? What is the logic behind this?
Yes, it is a serious question and serious issue that they have reduced in an effective way the allocation for Manarega, and they argue that the employment generation will be more through the productive link subsidies which are there in the industrial sector. But for the poor person, for the rural person, Manarega is the last resort, and I criticize, I do not subscribe for.
Is there anyone who wanted to ask the question? Then we wanted to conclude this session.
I think there is no questions. Yes, Mansi.
Mansi, would you like to ask any question?
Sir, one question from Mansi Pathare. Should I take the standard deduction or intermiles? Itemize. Okay.
So can you just detail that a standard deduction definitely you will get, but itemized means, so there's two things. If you that whether you will to new or old, because income tax rate is basically, if you go to that new regime, then there is no deduction will get, and it will be applicable of a new revised rate of income tax rate, which is lower than. And if you avail the old one, then you will be able to get that standard deductions and ATC and other deductions that, which is that up to 5 lakhs you can get that benefits. If the question is regarding that only.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think there is no questions at all. So I would like to. It's okay.
Yes, who is there? Please tell me the first your name. Who wanted to ask any questions? Tell me your name first.
So there is one question. What is the basis of cryptocurrency which impose 30% tax?
Okay. So cryptocurrency, it is not legalized in India so far.
Yes.
So if you say that not legalized means it is a speculative of in nature. So that's why government is try to put that maximum rate of income tax rate to discourage everybody, because we'll take the risk. If anything goes wrong, everybody will blame to the government.
Yes.
To discourage that, they're putting that 30%, the highest income tax rate. It is my way of reading this.
Sir,
Yeah.
Yes.
in this budget regarding the cryptocurrency, government didn't identify any transactions which is on the cryptocurrency. How we identify the transaction of cryptocurrency? What is any system for identification of cryptocurrency? In this budget, there is no clear systems announced by the Honorable Finance Minister. How to identify the transaction of cryptocurrency?
I think this budget details will. Sorry, sir, Bijay sir, you can say that.
Yes.
Please.
Basically, while declaring your income, you have to declare that it is the profit from the crypto. So it becomes the white money, and it is a self-declaration. There is no systematic any mechanism to detect the crypto transactions, because they are very confidential one and private one. So that is one limitation. But the government's intention is clear that if you are making profit on crypto, we are there. But if you are making losses, then the government is not giving to you the setback for that. So that is the approach of the government. And regarding the asset as such, it is the option for everyone whether to get such a kind of a toxic assets in your portfolio or not, or very risky, highly risky as such. People are getting attraction by the jumps in the prices that are having the Bitcoin or other cryptos. I hope that you know that there are more than 14,000 cryptos which are there in the market. And so the asset wise, the government is very clear now that if you are having the asset and having the profit, you have to pay the tax. That is very clear.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so there is no more questions at all. Last question.
Education policy.
Last question, sir. Last question on education policy. Unmute करतो ते.
Sir, one question regarding the education policy. What is the provisions about the education in this policy? Just they wanted to know the provision about the education in this policy.
Hello. In case of education, the budget says that there should be one digital university which will combine together and it will have linkages with all the universities together. That is a big step that has been taken in the budget. So when we are saying that we are in the knowledge era, the government is taking the best of the best pulling together. So synergic impact will be there, and its coordination with other universities will definitely create a kind of a collaborative projects and efforts together. So this is important step that has been taken so far the education sector is concerned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So to know more about advancement in manufacturing, we would like to call our principal and chairperson of the session, Dr. C.J. Khilare sir, to share their views on budget.
Good evening, everybody. It is a great pride and privilege for me that the Department of Economics has chosen me to preside over this budget discussion session. Firstly, I would like to thank to the speakers who have contributed a lot on the panel discussion on Union Budget 2022-23. I am very much thankful to the chief guest also because he has sown some seeds for the further discussions in the panel. So Dr. Ratikant Ray, he has given the keynote address for this Union Budget. He took the review on this Union Budget and he has raised some questions for the further discussions in this discussion program. In the discussion session, Dr. Hanif Sheikh, actually he was hurried in his business, but he spared some time for this discussion and he has contributed his views in this program. So Hanif Sheikh, he has raised one question that very few people in India, the figure is 142. They are the richest people in India and they have the wealth of 53 lakh crores of rupees. And our population is to the tune of 140 crore And our Indian budget is 23 to 24 lakhs of crores rupees. So this is, according to his views, the wealth to these people and the budget size of our India, it is mismatching. Then Dr. Rajendra Senapati, he has also contributed a lot. He has given very nice information on this union budget. Then Kakade sir, who happened to be my good friend, because actually he is also teacher, though I am from the science faculty, but I was in touch with him when I was working in the capacity in the affiliated colleges of Shivaji University. Sir, digital university, Indian digital currency, 200 e-Vidya channels, 75 digital banks, digital health, all these announcements are mostly welcome. But what about the expenditure on the interest is, I think it is to the tune of 9 crore 40,651 crores of. This is of 23.8% of our total expenditure. What is the solution? And every day there is a hike in the prices. So is there any provision to minimize the expenditure on the interest or to increase the expenditure on the interest? Actually, I am the odd man out because I'm not from the social sciences or not from the economics. But as a common man or the person who is going to pay the income tax every year without any interruption in it. So there is a question in my mind. What the budget was put forth before the people in the in the year of 2022-23 by our finance minister. She has given this budget before the country. You all are experts. You had made some comments on this budget. When we look towards the budget, some feels it is a good, some feels there are some lacuna in the budget. I think every year, year after year, such things are happening. One thing that is in the beginning, Ray sir has given some highlights of this budget, and they are well taken by the experts or who has contributed in this panel discussion. Some speakers, they have also asked some questions which were in the form of doubts in their mind. And our panel members, they have satisfied their difficulties. I think I don't want to spend much of the time because already Dr. Vijay Kakade, Dr. Rajendra Senapati, Dr. Hanif Sheikh, though he is in a hurry to catch the train, all these experts, they have contributed a lot in this panel discussion on union budgets. So I am very much thankful to those who are involved in this panel discussion. I am also thankful to the Department of Economics that they have chosen to take this panel discussions on this union budget. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request now I would like to call my colleague Mr. Sayed sir, to present, to express vote of thanks.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to express my gratitude on behalf of the college and GRTF organization. Jointly organized panel discussion on budget 2022-2023 by SM Joshi College, HADAPSAR, Department of Economics and Global Research and Training Forum, Pune. I sincerely thank Dr. Kakade sir, Professor Shivaji University, Kolhapur, who was the keynote person for this event. I sincerely thank to him for his excellent guidance. On behalf of the college and the GRTF organization, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to CA Rajendra Senapati, CA and founder of Senapati and Associate. The college also thank Hanif Sheikh sir, the speaker of the program. I hope so. We will definitely get benefit from your guidance. Apart from this, the chief guest of the program, Dr. Ratikanta Ray, on behalf of the college and principal, we are truly thank you for your guidance and wish you all the best for your future endeavors. The principal of our college, Dr. Chandrakant Khilare Sahib, who provided us the platform for this event, and I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the principal of the college, Dr. Chandrakant Khilare Sahib, for guiding us from time to time and wishing us well for this event. I also thank for my doctor. I also thank for the Dr. Munde sir, head of the Department of Economics, and his fellow Dr. Vishwas Deshmukh, Mr. Kamle Fulchand, and Naina Shinde, for that who designed this program and successfully organized this program. On behalf of the college and the principal, I wish you all the best for your future. And on behalf of the principal and college, I announce here that the event is over. Thank you so much for present. Thank you so much for present in this event. Thank you so much. After that, feedback link is shared with WhatsApp and with the chat box. You should have to give a feedback, and your feedback is very important to us. Give the feedback, and after that you will get the certificate within 2 days. And thank you so much for everyone who is presented and give the guidance to us. Thank you so much. Now the program is over.